Live pictures of Paris, where President Biden wakes up in a few hours, literally with the world's eyes upon him. We'll see if the Eiffel Tower lights up for us. All the more so because of a devastating Wall Street Journal piece that dropped just before he got on Air Force One. Behind closed doors, Biden shows signs of slipping. Participants in meetings said the 81-year-old president performed poorly at times. The White House said Biden is sharp and his critics are playing partisan politics. Colby Hall is here, founding editor at Mediaite, also a NewsNation contributor. Boy, there's so much to unpack in this. So short questions, short answers, I promise. I asked Geraldo this. Any chance this was done without Rupert Murdoch signing off on it?
I think so, yes. Directly, probably not directly signed off, but, you know, there were probably people that were eager to please the boss and know what he wants. So the idea that this is his sort of thinking or ethos.
So does that mean the gloves are off now?
Well, honestly, I think it's a serious issue. I take issue with the report, the journalistic standards here, but candidly, anyone who's watched Biden over the last 3 years can tell that he's stiffened, he's slower, that he's not as sharp. And the White House has said forever, behind the scenes, he's you know, smooth as a Swiss watch. And this story sort of you know, disabuses us of that notion. I will say, however, they only really sourced House Republicans, and it would have been way better had they been able to find some other, you know, sort of Democrats that concurred with that idea, which unfortunately, I mean, I think this is a serious story that we should take, you know, this should call to question whether
you have to take it seriously, right? That's the whole problem with it. And you're right, the reporting on it is, I don't want to say thin as turnip soup, because that's sort of an insult to turnip soup, but it's really thin in that it relies a lot on Kevin McCarthy, who is on the record in other situations, kind of, sort of on the record. One time, I think the White House is mincing words, but they don't seem to have the goods, if you will, when, and maybe this is why the story works, is because it confirms what so many people see every day, right? We see him stumble. We see him clearly have senior moments. We see him clearly look lost when he's walking on and off stage or trying to remember leaders' names or confusing events, or whether he was the vice president during the pandemic or during the recession, and then his physical issues as well. And nobody wants to see this from the president himself. The White House and the Wall Street Journal points to this now, where he's using the short stairs on Air Force One. The White House kept close tabs on some of the Wall Street Journal's interviews with Democratic lawmakers. After the offices of several Democrats shared with the White House either a recording of an interview or details about what was asked, some of those lawmakers spoke to the Journal a second time and once again emphasized Biden's strengths. If the Trump White House had done that, it would have been an affront to the First Amendment.
Are you saying there's different standards? I think that's fair. Look, the White House communications team was clearly in damage control mode. They not only sent out their minions to sort of reaffirm this idea, this narrative that Biden is sharp as a tack, but they also, and I think this is a fair point, made sure that those Democratic leaders, including Speaker Pelosi, made clear that she was interviewed for this piece, but her comments were not included. Now, of course, their comments probably were all like White House laundered, Joe Biden's got it together. And I think the author, while is sort of not above some sort of criticism, she defended on CNN today saying, you know, our job is to paint an accurate picture to the readers, and we did that. So that suggests that they're sort of off the record reporting. I do think, though, that it would have been a lot stronger piece if there were more Democrats. You know, we always condemn Republicans for not calling out Trump and his crazy. Well, the same holds for the Democrats. It's clear that Biden has lost a step or two, and it would be great if Democrats were to, you know, step up and say,
just be intellectually honest enough to admit it. Boy, Colby, awesome points as always. And look, points to Geraldo, I think, also, who said that it would have been a lot stronger had they waited to see what happened at Normandy, because it would have had so much more of an impact if he didn't take any questions from the press during this trip, if he stumbles tomorrow or over the next couple of days, if there's one of these moments, then the piece would sort of match what everyone was saying at the time. Colby, thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Leland.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.